How's everybody doing? Hope you're having a good day. Listen, I understand you may have your differences about Trump, and not everything he does I agree with. I definitely wouldn't have chose him at first as my choice of president, but he's actually done a good job, or is at least trying to do a good job. He's had some people bog him down, which is ridiculous. But he's doing the things he said he was going to do, and he's trying. He likes this country, and he's trying to make it better. And he realizes that if he makes this country better, even for himself and his companies, it's better for everyone. So, of course he's trying to help himself, but he's helping all of us in the process. And, that's a good thing. Biden is gone. That man's brain is fried. And the problem with Biden is, if you look back at clips from his past, every 5 to 10 years, his entire view of all of his political stances change 180 degrees. So every 5 years, he's flipped from basically Republican to Democrat, around the block, to Republican to Democrat, back over and over again. So he never has a clear stance. He just flip-flops for whatever interest is going to pay him the most. He is terribly corrupt. And the whole purpose of this video is I want to put out a challenge to the left. And that is, instead of hearing your friends tell you or seeing one clip on CNN and just automatically believing what you hear. And this is the big difference between the left and the center or the right, independent. The left, a lot of you guys are younger and you just hear stuff and just immediately believe it. You don't check it out, research it, whatever. You just hear it, believe it. That's why when the left and the right argue, 90% of the time the right wins, because the left has no argument. All they do is get hostile, mad, upset, start yelling and screaming and trying to destroy everything. It's ridiculous. So my challenge to the left is do a little research. Look into what Biden's really like. Do you want this? I mean, not only does the man not know what's going on, so if he was ever elected, he wouldn't be running the country. Some mystery people would be running the country. He's just a puppet. So that's terrible. You don't want that, because you don't know who's going to be running the country. Some insane madman like Dr. Evil will be sitting in the back pulling the little puppet strings on Biden, and that idiot will be asleep. But his brain is as fried as, and I liked Reagan. I was a little kid when Reagan was president, but by Reagan's last few years, he wasn't really running the country. It was more his wife and the cabinet. But Biden is as bad as Reagan. Biden is as bad now and before he would even start his presidency as Reagan was on his last year or two. So if that's what you want starting out as a president, that's nothing but trouble. It's bad. It's bad. And just to vote for him because of sheer hatred for Trump, it's insane. And I understand, my family, that my mother, my father, my sister, they can't stand Trump, but they can't stand him because it's an emotional thing. Or they just don't like him. They've never liked him. And, I think he's a tacky guy. He's got a gold toilet. It reminds me of these gold shoed Gucci, like a lot of, I don't want to sound racist or whatever, but there's a lot of Arabs that have too much gold stuff around, and it's just tacky looking. Well, that's kind of how I see Trump, but put that aside. That's just a personal thing with, whatever. But how he's running the country, people don't don't acknowledge the fact that, you know, he's done and attempted to do more for the black community than Obama ever did. You know, in 2008 when the housing market crashed and Obama did the stimulus, he gave the stimulus to these banks and stuff because they said, you know, we're not getting money because people aren't paying their mortgages. So instead of giving the money to the people to pay their mortgages so they'd have their homes, he gives it to the banks, makes up the difference for them, then lets them evict the people from their homes and then turn around and resell their homes. So they got a double payday. People got kicked out on the streets and were homeless. How does that help? How is that, you know, Obama, I voted for the guy. He, after 2 years in office, he was a changed man. He didn't do what he said he was going to do. He got caught up in the glitz and glamour and totally turned. He's you know, he's a bank guy now. So anyway, you know, Trump's done the lowest unemployment money. I was in the restaurant business for 30 years and I watched jobs since Trump's been in office, jobs that were, you know, like $10 or $11 an hour go up to $15, $16 an hour. I live in Arizona. All the warehouse jobs that were $10 or $11 an hour have gone up to $15, $16 an hour. So pay is gone up since Trump's been in office. Unemployment down. You know, the opportunity zones, and all these different things that the prison reform. I was reading one thing that said a third of the black population will be released from prison based on this prison reform. And just a lot of other things that he's done. And you know, everyone that calls him racist and stuff, that's like, one of his supporters is Martin Luther King's niece or cousin, or I say niece. You think she's so dumb that she would support a white supremacist? I mean, really? Come on. No. And before Trump became president, every rapper, everyone in the world, they aspired to be Donald Trump. They wrote songs about him, movies about him. He was the greatest. He was the number one player. He was dope. He was this. He was that. Greatest guy in the world. Then the second he becomes president and the left starts leaning on everyone in the entertainment industry, oh, he's bad orange man. So anyway, back to my point. My point is, the left, go do some research and look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, do I really, before I get all mad and this and that, am I really doing research? Am I really looking at both sides? Because I'm sorry, but the man has actually done a lot of good things for this country. You know, he's done some things I disagree with, but he's done a lot of good things. He's trying to pull everyone out of Afghanistan. He gets bogged down by the industrial complex, the military industrial complex, but you know, he's trying. And other things like that. So he'll work with anyone. He's trying to do whatever he can. And he's not a true Republican. He's not a hardcore right-wing Republican. He was a Democrat for a long time. So he's in the middle. This guy's just a deal maker. He's just trying to fix things to make this country better. And he looks at all these terrible deals. You know, I used to think Bill Clinton was a good president when I was younger because things were good in the 90s. But the effects of Bill Clinton didn't really hit until after he was out of office, when NAFTA and all those other things sent every job in the U.S. out of the country. He just sold our manufacturing, the heart of America, sold it off to every other third world country in the world where they'll work at slave labor. Trump wants to bring all that back. And that's what we need. You know, when I was a kid, everything used to say, buy American, this and that, and then it starts saying made in China and this and that, which is fine, but you had both. Now it's all just made in China, made in Taiwan, this and that. We need to see made in America. We need to have things made in America. We need to buy them in America. If we buy American and it's made in America, the value of things go up. Pay goes up. All that stuff goes up. All these jobs come back. Housing industry goes up. Manufacturing industry, all of it. It all rises up. All goes up. You know, and you don't have to tax 90% to do that. You do not want the government running your life. They can't run the post office. They can't run anything. The DMV, all that. Look at every government-run business there is. They're messed up. They're screwed up. And if you have a disagreement with them and you get, in a bad way, and they boot you out of their system, there's no other alternative. If you get banned from something, you're banned. So if we had single payer medical insurance and you have a problem with them, what do? You're banned, thrown out, whatever. You can't, they just let you die. You don't have any other choices. So once again, left, and anyone that, everyone that has a political stance, before you make a decision, look at both sides. Watch both news. Watch Fox. Watch the left, which is everything else. Watch, media on the internet, which is getting better. Watch this stuff, and get a whole view. That's the reason all this happened is because we fell asleep and let the schools start teaching kids all this left-wing crap that, without presenting both sides. Schools aren't supposed to teach kids what to think. They're supposed to teach them how to think. And that's what they stopped doing. They stopped presenting both sides, letting them have a rational discussion and thinking about it. They just ram all this information from one side in their head. And these people that are doing this, they said they were going to start doing this 100 years ago. They started, they've been doing it forever, but they tried it in Russia. 100 million of them got killed. They tried it in Germany. Look what that got them. There was a school over in Germany, I can't remember the name of it, but they came over here to Columbia University, and they infested Columbia University and spread out from there. And they said, we're going to populate all of your different industries, from school to media to, everything, and put our people in there. And because they realized that they couldn't change America through a war, coming in, fighting a war, and then changing us. They knew they were going to have to do it from the inside out. They were going to have to change the culture of America, or enough people to change the culture in America permanently. And that's what they've been working on. And they just found their little opportunity a while back. It really started pushing when Obama got in office. But in the last year or 2, 3, they've been ramping up because they're trying to overthrow this country. I mean, it's apparent. It's obvious. And the only thing that has slowed them down was Trump. So, regardless of what side you're on, if you hate the machine, the industry, all that, it should just be funny to watch Trump throw these monkey wrenches in these guys, because they hate him and he can't stand them. So, if anything, he has thrown them off their globalized one world economy shit. He's thrown them off their game by 5-10 years at least. So if anything, pushing their agenda back, that's awesome, because any other direction, and it's doomsday. It's doomsday. It's gone. And this defund the police and all that stuff, you can have that movement right now, but if you get this social society going on, the socialism, they're going to ramp up the police, because they have to have the police to enforce their crazy laws. And what's going to happen is, after they get in place, you won't be able to riot anymore. You won't be able to protest anymore. They'll just shut you down, and they're going to put you in prison camps and re-educate you, but you won't be able to do any more of that stuff. You just have to take it, and it ain't going to be nice. They're not going to use KY. They're just going to stick it to you. So think about what you do, and think about who you vote for before you just go, I'm going to get Donald Trump, bad orange man, because you're screwing yourself. You're screwing your family, and you're screwing everyone else. So look at both sides, make an honest decision, and then go ahead and, whether you like him or not, vote for Trump, because he's the only one that's going to push this agenda back and keep them at bay. He's the only one, at least right now. Hopefully we'll spawn more Trump-minded people for after his second term, because we need that to continue. We have to push these people back into the hole that they crawled out of and put a lid on it and chain it shut. We need to put the devil back down in the abyss and lock him up, because he's trying to crawl out right now. Hey, everyone, have a great day. God bless you. Look, I'm an old timer trying to build a channel, or trying to figure out how to do all this stuff. So push the buttons. If you can't follow me, I'm going to try and put out some interesting content and stuff.